So your office objected to us getting Delta records for flights that you may have taken with Mr. Wade.
Well, no, look. I object to you getting records. You've been intrusive into people's personal lives. You're confused. You think I'm on trial. These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial.
So my question was, do you have any problem?
I object to getting any personal records of mine.
Exactly like someone who has nothing to hide is expected to react. Wait. Here, she uses two diversion tactics, calling the lawyer intrusive and confused, which is intimidation, and pointing to other people, even though she's the one being questioned. Everybody knows what the case is about, so she doesn't have to make this distracting, generic observation. It doesn't exempt her from answering.
These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020.
Next, Willis continues with the turning the tables tactic, behaving like it's the lawyer on the stand.
Okay, you have to file as part of your job something called an income and financial disclosure report, correct?
That's correct.
And you filed your first one, so you filed 2 to date, is that right?
Is it 2 or 3? I probably would have filed 21, 22, and maybe I haven't filed 23 yet, because isn't it due like June of the next year?
April, I believe. So you filed, let's see, you filed your first one, it looks like April 15th, 2022, and your second one, April 17th, 2023. Does that sound familiar?
That I don't remember the dates, but you're an officer of the court. I'm gonna hope you're telling the truth now.
May I approach the witness?
You may.
Thank you.
Willis is the one who supposedly can remember the number of reports she filed and when she filed them, and the lawyer is only asking her. However, that doesn't stop Willis from feeling entitled to intimidate the lawyer.
But you're an officer of the court. I'm gonna hope you're telling the truth now.
With the vowel stress and the adverb now, while appealing to the lawyer's rank, she hints at the possibility that the lawyer isn't being truthful. To Willis, everything is a power struggle, and her turning the tables tactic suggests that she feels she's above answering, if not above the law. This speaks to personality.
When did your personal relationship with Mr. Wade end?
Our personal relationship ended in this year. So let's be very clear so that we don't mix words. I don't want to mix words in here. Mr. Wade is my friend right now. Mr. Wade, I would say, has been my friend since 2020.
The important thing to note here is that Willis has admitted that their personal relationship has ended, because next she starts retracting this admission and redefining what personal relationship means.
I feel very indebted to Mr. Wade for taking on the task of this job. And he is certainly my friend and one of the people that I respect the most. So if you ask about a personal relationship, I consider myself to have a personal relationship right now, Mr. Wade. I consider myself to have a personal relationship with Anna Cross. I consider myself to have a personal relationship with Mr. Abadi. I consider myself to have a personal relationship with Andrew Evans.
Okay, let me just clarify that.
I have a personal relationship with him as we speak right now. I don't think that's what you're asking. I think that's what you're asking.
So if she doesn't think that's what she's asking, why does she give this long, stalling answer, repeating the irrelevant point that she respects Wade and appealing to people that have nothing to do with the topic at hand? Clearly, she knew right away what the lawyer meant, a romantic relationship, which is also the definition of personal relationship on Law Insider's website. Stalling allows Willis to postpone the real answer and detail whatever she's comfortable detailing.
When did your romantic relationship with Mr. Wade end? When did it end?
Me and Mr. Wade, we are good friends. My respect for him has grown over these 7 weeks of attacks. We are very good friends.
Let's.
Could we just have an answer to the question?
I can handle Mr. Seda. Let's have it.
She asked about a personal relationship.
She asked when the romantic relationship ended. That's the question.
It's sometime in, I'd say late summer of 2023.
Funny how all of a sudden Willis doesn't have a problem understanding the question. This goes to show that she only answers when she can't postpone the answer any longer, which again goes to show that her moments of not understanding questions are part of the act, because she's known all along what the lawyer has asked her.
So I don't believe me in, this is what you're really asking about. This is the salaciousness of all of this, right?
No, I'm just asking about your romantic relationship, when you stopped dating.
She's the one talking about salaciousness. The lawyer is not. So with this, Willis points to the fact that there's information she intentionally hasn't disclosed.
So let's be clear, because you lied in this. Let me tell you which one you lied in. Right here. I think you lied right here. No. This is the truth,
Judge,
And
this
it is a lie. It is a lie.
Ms. Willis? Mr. Sadao, thank you. We're going to take 5 minutes. Be back in 5.
Apparently, when her diversion tactics, pathos, turning the tables, presenting irrelevant topics all fail, we see what she's really like.
You and Mr. Wade met in October 2019 at a conference?
That is correct. And I think in one of your motions you tried to implicate I slept with him at that conference, which I find to be extremely offensive.
Willis uses indignation, whether it's her own or playing on other people's indignation, as a means of focus shift, which is a classic diversion tactic. Focus shifts can be identified by how much a given statement deviates from the question. Here, the lawyer is asking a simple question about Willis meeting Wade. She doesn't even hint at a relationship. Ironically then, it's Willis's reactions that can make people think there was more between the two than she's letting on. It's not the lawyer's questions. And next, Willis gives details that give the impression that she's proving that there wasn't anything between them. These details, however, are inconsequential and function as distraction, delaying the lawyer's questioning. Let's watch.
I stayed at that conference. Mr. Wade was my teacher. I did not meet him when he taught the class. I was standing outside talking to Lisa Reeves, who is a judge. Me and her were just having a conversation. Mr. Wade walks up. I think they hug each other. They have some brief conversation. She introduces us.
Any more details you'd like to share? I'm just wondering, because I don't think we've heard enough.
Honor, I'm going to object. We kind of thought that when we asked the question, you can answer the question, not a speech, so I object to the speech.
I agree,
I'm able
Judge.
to explain my answers.
But that's the thing. She doesn't explain her answer because she couldn't use her answer, so-called, to deny the relationship. She answered a very short question with inconsequential details.
I believe she's able to explain her answer.
And that's
Ms. Merchant, that's okay. I can handle it. Ms. Willis, I'll ask you just listen to the answer, or excuse me, the question, and keep the answers confined to the question as best you can. I think you'll have more than enough ample opportunity.
Willis knows all this, so her diversion tactic seems to be working.
On when the state was
Well,
able
it's
to
highly
follow
offensive
up.
when someone lies on you, and it's highly offensive when they try
Judge.
to implicate that you slept with somebody the first day you met with them, and I take exception to it.
The opportunity to explain all of that when it's the state's turn to ask more open-ended questions.
Yeah.
Ms. Merchant.
Thank you, Judge. So again, my question was, you all met at that conference, though, right?
We did the meeting.
Okay.
That wasn't so hard to answer, apparently. She could have just said that and saved the court some time. But then again, she needed time for her diversion tactic to work.
He, as I stated, he taught the class. I did not actually meet him when he taught the class. I walked out of the class, and I'm not sure if it was that exact class or we had went to lunch, but we were standing in the vestibule, like outside of the class. Me and Judge Reeves were having a conversation. She had worked at a law firm I worked at back in 1996.
We're getting way afar. I mean, I don't mind her explaining her answers, but I literally just asked if they met at that conference.
Irrelevant speculations and observations should be noted as likely deception.
And I'm not sure if it was that exact class or we had went to lunch. She had worked at a law firm I worked at.
Irrelevant details are identified by asking counter questions like, who asked? Or, how does this deny or confirm the topic at hand? Willis really doesn't want to be asked about this meeting, and she's saying it without saying it.
Ms. Merchant, if you want more concise answers, perhaps you could lead the witness.
I will. Thank you, Judge. Isn't it true that you met Mr. Wade October 2019 at the judge's
We
conference?
haven't gotten to the point where Ms. Willis should be treated also under the 60th.
I think we
And
have.
I'm very
Mr.
much
Willis.
want to be here, so I'm not a hostile witness. I very much want to be
Not
here.
so much that you're hostile, Ms. Willis, it'd be an adverse witness.
Yes, because everything about Willis's facial expression and repetition of very much wanting to be there screams wanting to be there. So much drama from a simple and innocuous question. Willis got what she wanted, but she's not done with the diversion.
Your interests are opposed to Ms. Merchant's.
Thank you.
Merchants' interests are contrary to democracy, Your Honor, not to mine.
Willis continues to get away with this behavior.
All right, let's
Judge, I
proceed.
would just ask that
We
we...
can keep things moving. Ms. Merchant,
Thank you.
next question,
Thank you.
please.
Okay, so we've confirmed when you met. After that, isn't it true...
No, I need to explain this, and I think I get to explain my answers. When I met him, Judge Reeves introduced us. He handed me his business card. I'm unsure if I handed him my business card, but we exchanged information. He said, if you ever need any help, give me a call. And he walked to the parking lot.
Yes, because that proves that you didn't have a relationship with Wade at this point in time.
At the time that you moved into the condo, be it from February to April of 2021,
Yes.
was your father still living in your house?
Right, because my father...
That's
yeah.
all I ask you.
But I get to explain the answer, sir.
I don't know if there's an explanation. If I ask you, was your father still living at your house, the answer is either he was or he wasn't.
Yes, but you are going to get to argue at the end of this, as we both
I'm
know.
not going to argue
And so
anything.
Aside from extreme self-awareness, this passage exposes Willis's need for control. At this point, the lawyer is very far from arguing anything. These are preliminary questions. Willis's objection here could be used in all court cases. So what is she proposing? That all people who take the stand don't conform to the lawyer's questioning, because the lawyer will argue their points. Willis is a citizen like everyone else, but her behavior indicates that she wants to be treated as more than that.
Ms. Willis, I'm going to have to say that's second time. Whenever we have to put a pause, we stop testifying, okay? You'll have a chance to explain yourself. The question was whether your father was not staying there at the time, and you're clarifying that in your answer as well. You can have a brief clarification, but it shouldn't be something that reaches well beyond the question. All right, Mr. Sadar, we can re-ask the question. We'll see where it takes us.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
The real question that the judge should ask himself is, why do I have to say this to a DA who's fully aware of the procedure and who's shown that she's fully aware of the procedure?
But you are going to get to argue at the end of this, as we both
I'm
know.
not going to argue.
The answer to that question is stalling. Next, it's interesting to note how fast Willis answers the question. I guess answering wasn't so hard after all.
Was your father still living in your house at the time you moved to what I would refer to as a Yurti condo?
Yes, sir, he was, due to his concerns related to COVID.
Okay.
This shows that Willis understands the questions and, more importantly, understands how she should answer them. So why all the drama? Because the drama has to be there. It's part of the linguistic self-defense, part of the stalling.
Who in the prosecution team knew of your personal relationship, and now I'm talking romantic, with Mr. Wade?
So, sir, I am extremely private.
All I ask
No,
is
no,
who
no.
knew. It's not. If the answer is no one knew, that's fine.
I am extremely private. When I supervised Mr. Body and Mr. McAfee, they didn't know who I was dating, but I can assure you I was dating somebody. So that I kept something private, that's my private life, is not any mystery to anyone.
No one said it was a mystery. She's the one bringing it up. Willis isn't done with the outrage or indignation diversion tactic.
It's like a woman doesn't have the right to keep her private life private. And I'm speaking on this because there have been all these intimations.
Still haven't answered the question, Ms. Willis.
I'm sorry, what was the question, Your Honor?
Is there anyone else who knew about it? And then you can explain.
I don't know. I don't think so. I certainly didn't go out telling my business to the world.
This is a weak denial. It's weak because it isn't specific to the topic at hand. They're specifically talking about Wade, but she doesn't say she didn't tell anyone about him. Also, the adverb certainly points to reservations, indicating that there could be more to this than she's letting on.
Then I will certainly restate it so it is very accurate.
Okay, and please do not yell at me.
I'm asking you whether or not prior to November 1st of 2021, there was a romantic relationship with Mr. Wade. That's very simple. It's either a yes or a no.
I don't consider my relationship with him to be romantic. Before that, I'm not a hand holder, so no.
That's fine. Now,
I'm not a handholder, Willis says. This is a partial denial, and thus another weak denial. This partial denial doesn't rule out that she could have had a romantic relationship in other ways than holding hands. It's a sarcastic play on the lawyer's words. This way, if it's found out that their romantic relationship started before they said it did, she can blame the lawyer for not listing proper romantic actions.
Did you hear my answer, madam?
Yes.